don't understand what's going on here.
Sheep. They're all just sheep. Every one of them. Can't see what's going on.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Luke chapter 21, verse 25 and 26. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodesh. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting to the elect. All right, and today is the 21st of October, 2025 AD. And just want to bring out this article that I came across actually this morning, and it's something that happened yesterday, the 20th. And I think I saw a couple of brothers did a lesson on it, but I want to tap into it as well, all right? Because these are things that, again, being a watchman, these are things that we look out for, all right? Because these are all part of the signs of the end, okay? And when the prophecies speak, and they actually are fulfilled, we have to, speak on those things, okay? Because it doesn't just end there. Like we always say, even though we are in Jacob's trouble, it only gets worse. It only intensifies as the weeks go by, as the months go by, okay? Because the depiction that's written in the scriptures, okay, we're seeing parts of it happening, as is written in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, all right? When we see parts of the signs, all right, being fulfilled, then shall we very well know, all right, that the Heavenly Father is making his presence felt upon the face of the earth. Okay, so this right here is titled "When the Internet Blinks: How One Outage Exposed Our Fragile Digital World." Okay, and as soon as I saw this title, I said, "Oh, this could be the preparation for that big outage that we've been talking about, going all the way back to even 2021." Okay, remember Cyber Polygon? All right, remember when Professor Carl Schwab was doing all these videos talking about a comprehensive cyber attack, all that bullshit he was talking? It's been in preparation, okay? And I say preparation because over the past month, all right, they have pretty much revealed that they're ready to push this digital ID, okay? And you have, I believe, Utah just came out talking about, they want to push for that digital ID. Okay, we know the UK is already pushing for it. Many different countries are doing it right now as we speak. It's not even about a push; they already have it, all right, ready to go. Some countries are already using it. Okay, so it's only a matter of time before Babylon gets involved in it. Remember, Babylon is the city of confusion. Okay, so they always gotta do something that's confusing in order to bring about their desired goal. Okay, Trump could say, "Oh, we're not gonna have any CBDC," but yet he's partnered up with central bankers that are bringing in the CBDC just under a different name, stable coin, and all these different things, right? He say, "Oh, we're not gonna be partnered up with the who dat, CDC, the who dat, whatever, right? But then he gives Pfizer a $70 billion deal, which the who dat is controlled by companies like Pfizer and shit. It's big pharma, funded basically, okay? Because they are the ones requiring and mandating these pharmaceuticals that are created by these pharmaceutical companies, okay, under the auspices of, protection and safety and all this BS, right? So same thing here. All right, all these major conglomerates are pushing for one goal, which is total control over everything. All right, digital panopticon, so to speak. Okay, and the one thing they want to have is control over the minds of people. All right, the kind of communications people are engaging in. Okay, especially right now when it pertains to the Jays, they want to know who's talking shit about them, who's revealing the truth about them, who's spoiling their plans of their so-called New World Order agenda. Okay, and yeah, they destroyed the Georgia Guidestones, which I believe was an inside thing. They just mysteriously somebody came in and blew it up, and no investigation, nothing. Yeah, okay, right. So that happens right in around 2022, I think, right. And then right after that, because that was people were talking about it, so they had to destroy that. Oh, there's no evidence, so now you got to go based off plausible deniability. Nah, we already have the facts. Okay, we already have the facts, but remember that their goal is you own nothing and you be happy. And what better way to do that or to usher that in than to disrupt the system? Okay, to disrupt the system, and then again, they already have the solution. So now here comes the problem. Okay, now we brought out Luke 21. All right, we'll bring that back real fast. All right, Luke 21 verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring." Now, I want to highlight the word distress. Okay, you go into that word distress. It says here, circumstance that causes anxiety or hardship. Okay, so in other words, Jacob's trouble. Okay, Jacob's trouble is not just trouble for Jacob, it's trouble for everyone. Okay, the earth dances to the tune of Jacob. All right, so Jacob's trouble is not just trouble for Jacob, it's trouble for everyone. Okay, everyone feels the side effect of the Lord's anger and wrath towards his people. Okay, it says restraint, affliction, all right, affliction, narrowness. Okay, it says to draw apart, all right, hinder. Okay, it says to draw tight, to press together. All right, it says what? This meaning apart, and strain. All right, the stress goes into the word strain, which means anguish, grief, pain or suffering of the body or mind. Okay, pain or suffering of the body or mind. Okay, when you go into it in the verb sense of it, it says afflict with mental or physical pain, make miserable. Okay, it says to what? To constrain or compel by pain. Ooh, that's a good one right there. To constrain or compel by pain. Now let's look up the word compel. Okay, because remember, this is all problem reaction solution. They already have a desired goal, but in order for the people to go along with that goal, to comply with that goal, they have to bring in a problem that's suitable for a specific reaction. Okay, the true action is in the reaction, right? It says compel means to drive or urge irresistibly by physical or moral force. Okay, to drive together, to drive to one place. All right, okay, to drive to one place. Okay, so it's kind of synonymous with causeth in the book of Revelation 13, verse 16. Okay, to bring about a desired goal by way of what? Physical or moral force. Okay, so let's read. It says here, early Monday morning, October 20th, 2025, millions of people around the world, right, woke up to a silent kind of chaos. Frozen phones or phones froze. Smart lights refused to turn on. Banking apps displayed errors. From Alexa to Snapchat to hundreds of other online services, everything went dark. The cause? A single Amazon Web Services, or AWS Cloud region in North Virginia went down after what the company later called a DNS issue inside its DynamoDB service. In simple terms, one of the internet's main address books suddenly forgot where thousands of critical servers lived. Within minutes, global systems were paralyzed. Businesses couldn't access data. Cloud-dependent devices froze. Even some banks went offline. Though the outage lasted only a few hours, the deeper revelation it left behind is chilling. If one tech giant sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. All right. Remember what happened with CrowdStrike last year? I believe it was in June, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, June of last year, we had that whole situation with CrowdStrike. Apparently, they got hacked or something, and it caused all these airport delays and cancellations and all kinds of chaos that happened. Okay, now whatever is about to hit next, because this is a global thing. Imagine how this internet grid is all interconnected. Whatever happens next, it could be the one thing that Klaus Schwab was talking about. Like I said, all right, that comprehensive global cyber attack, which will make CV look like a walk in the park. And all indications are pointing to these devils preparing for that time. Ain't gonna be no reason why this nigga got troops in the streets under the guise of keeping people safe when nobody's asking for that. Okay, you might have a couple of people that you may grab up on TV and tell them, hey, listen, just tell us that you're safe. Are you safe? You're safe, right? You feel better? Yeah. Okay, go ahead, say that. A few dumbass jakes that don't see the bigger picture, they're gonna claim that Trump is their savior. Oh, Trump is doing good things for America. Look, since he sent in ICE, we're all being safe. Yeah, right? ICE is actually going after criminals, or they're attacking and grabbing people that are actually working, people who have families. You know what I'm saying? Most of the videos we're seeing, it's not them tackling criminals, all right? It's regular people that be, going to Walmart or going to Home Depot or working, they just round you up. How is that keeping anyone safe? These people are actually looking for safety, right? They're also looking for safety from those criminals, but yet they're being arrested, grabbed up, taken someplace else. But that's Trump being his horns are going to show very soon. We've been told you that, and it's guaranteed you're going to see. Okay, but it's ain't about him right now. Let's keep going. It says, for most of us, the morning felt confusing but manageable until we realized how much of our daily life depends on invisible data centers far away. Imagine it's 8 a.m. You can't pay for your coffee because the point of sale system isn't connecting. You try to transfer money, your banking app won't load. You head to work, but the GPS can't find your route. Traffic lights blink out of sync. By lunchtime, offices hum with frustration as cloud documents vanish and emails bounce back like rubber balls. By afternoon, the outage has spread like a digital power failure. Smart door locks stop responding. Grocery stores can't process debit or credit cards. The security systems that protect warehouses and hospitals go offline. Include that with your houses as well. You got all this Ring camera and all this stupid shit that people got in their homes. Ring camera, I don't know why anyone would have that in your house, but look, they said that eventually you got people that have Ring cameras inside of their homes. Okay? Inside of their homes, man. We believe that Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai protects us and takes care of us. We don't play into this whole fear tactic to sell product. Oh, make sure that you have a Ring camera so that we can spot somebody who's going to come steal your product when it's put in front of your house. There are chances and cases that it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen because we see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But when you keep your faith and your trust in the Lord, you set yourself up in a way where you don't have to be in that kind of situation. You see what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Some people, hey, you might be in a neighborhood that is just, hey, ain't nothing you can do about it. So the Ring camera might be the only way out. But hey, just keep in mind that it's a liability. All right, it's a way for Esau to spy on you, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or yes. All right. So continuing, it says, the security systems that protect warehouses and hospitals go offline. Parents can't check on their kids or on their children through home cameras. See? Now, who else has access to these home cameras? All right, I think Ring is an Amazon product as well, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Jeff Bezos and them. Okay, so it's a check on your kids at home. Okay, but who else is also going to be checking on you at home? Those who own those cameras, those who made those cameras, those who have access to the back ends of those cameras. Okay, it's enough that we have smartphones in our homes that can be turned on at any time and watch what we're doing. Right? People say, oh, if you have nothing to hide, why are you so afraid to have these things? Yeah, it's not about that. Okay, who the hell wants people to be watching them in your most intimate time. You might be spending time with your Eve or whatever. You might be in the shower and you got these devils watching you. Who the fuck wants some shit like that? Huh? So there's a reason why people want privacy, man. But these devils are telling you you will own nothing and you'll be happy. Meaning privacy is going to be a foregone thought. Okay? What is privacy to you? When you have 1984, when they depict Big Brother in your living room watching you, got to be in a corner somewhere where he can't see you. The TV, that is. Right? Well, what do you think that means? Eventually, that whole concept of, oh, it's just to keep us safe becomes a hazard. It becomes a problem where you want to hide from this so-called safety parameter, man. Okay? Panopticon. Pan meaning all, opticon meaning optics, going into what? Watching, looking at everything you do. Okay? To keep you safe. That's a sick world, man. Sick world. Okay? It says, parents can't check on their children through home cameras. Even entertainment vanishes. No Spotify, no Netflix, no social media. All this from one cloud region failure. Now imagine it didn't just last a few hours. What if the internet went down for a full day or maybe 3? Day 1, mild panic and realization. At first, people assume it's temporary. But as the morning turns to afternoon, a quiet unease grows. Cash becomes king again because digital transactions collapse. Card readers flash error. Gas pumps freeze. Unable to verify payments. Some stores simply close their stores or close their doors, unable to operate without the internet. Airline schedules vanish from the cloud. Pilots can't access flight plans. Hospital staff scramble to print emergency patient lists. Financial analysts at home stare at blank screens. Markets can't open without server connections to exchanges. By evening, communication becomes the biggest challenge. Now, that last part right there, markets can't open without server connections to exchanges, is going to affect all those people that engage in day trading and they think they're making millions of dollars and all that. If you're not a man of the Lord and you engage in all these day trading stuff, you're not going to be alerted in time to do what you need to do before this shit goes down. Okay, because you got brothers that, they understand that whole thing. They do it, for a living, right? They actually are successful doing that. But in their case, the Lord is going to have them where they might make that one move, maybe the night before or the day before or whatever. That one move, it's like something keeps telling them, yo, man, let me just do this. Let me do this. Let me just invest in this, or let me take out of this or whatever. And then the very day they do that, shortly after that, all hell breaks loose. And they're like, yo, that's the spirit of the Lord. Yo, the Lord told me do it. And then, and the Lord might do that so they could be good to help other brothers that may not be in the same case or may not be in the same scenario, right? So the Lord is always going to take care of his elect. All right, he's always going to find a way to help us out. You know what I'm saying? But the rest is over with, man. All right. So continue, it says, by evening, communication becomes the biggest challenge. No cloud email, no messaging apps, and even traditional phone calls falter as carrier routing relies on cloud authentication. Families can't reach loved ones. Confusion spreads as no one knows how widespread the problem is, right? Because you can't really check on Twitter to see what's trending. Oh, is it just me? Or, you can't go on IG because it's blocked, right? It's like, damn, this shit don't load, man. What's going on? This shit's like, what's going on? I think it actually happened a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken, or a couple weeks ago, where internet, I think it was a few apps were not working. And I believe YouTube, this was last week, yeah. YouTube went down out of nowhere. I remember when you click a video, it'll start playing and then it wouldn't play. It'll just be frozen and it'll go back. And I was like, what the hell's going on with YouTube? I thought it was just me. At that time I was working, so I didn't really care too much for it. But later on, I saw brothers talking about it in the chat and I said, oh shit. So there was some type of outage that happened, right? And to me, that was another red flag. It's like, oh shit, the lights are flickering, right? But let's keep going. It says, you realize how dependent you've become. Your thermostat, right? Listen to this part. Your thermostat, your TV, your home alarm, all useless without digital heartbeat. What used to be a minor inconvenience now feels like a power outage for civilization itself. Okay, so hey, if you need to get some tree light candles, right? Get a whole bunch of that shit. Get some tarot pots, right? Get a few of those. Maybe if you're in a big house, you might want to get a whole bunch of that. If you're in a small house, just get enough. Maybe 3 per room, right? It'll warm up your house, especially as we're entering into the winter. And there was this guy who was telling me, I think it was 2 days ago, I was in a client's home, and he was telling me, he said, hey man, he got some friends who work in these weather forecasts and stuff like that. And he was saying that they were telling him that this year is going to be the coldest year on record, is what he said, at least here in the Northeast. All right, we in New York. So, he was saying that, it's going to be the coldest. I said, damn, last year wasn't cold enough. He said, oh, and it's going to be the highest snow on record. Now, again, these are all predictions. But again, if you really look at the climate and how they're able to control weather, it'll be very appropriate for them to actually bring about that kind of problem as well, to add to the poly crisis that we've been warning about. Okay, as it's written, pray that your flight be not in the winter. Okay, so again, the reason why is because during the wintertime, like I said before, everything is just that much more harder, right? It's just that's just the reality of it. In the wintertime, everything is difficult, bro. Those of us who work on the outside, sometimes the wintertime is the most brutal. My job, I have to be outside, whether it's snowing, whether it's raining, whatever. Summertime, it could be 120 degrees. If I got to be outside, I got to be outside. So that shit that's just what it is. And last year was fucking brutal, man. You had negative 11 degrees with the wind chills, like, bro, yo, man. You know what I'm saying? So, just thinking about that is just, that's nothing compared to certain states. Like Chicago, it'd be like negative 20 or some crazy shit like that. You'd be like, damn, like, so that's just the reality. But having to work in that kind of environment, you got women talking shit. Yo, listen, man, the things that keeps your society running, the essentials that you people don't respect, them shits be the hardest jobs. Okay, but who are the hardest people that could do that? Men. All right, I don't see that my field. There's not one woman that works in my field, bro. All of us, we're all men. Ain't not one woman. I've never seen, not even construction, where you might have them say, okay, just come hold a sign. And even that, they can't get it right. Right? It'd be damn near causing accidents and shit. There's two things you got to do. It's either slow down or stop. Bitches be fucking that up too. All right. So, I'm saying, it is what it is. But the hardships are coming. These are all signs. Imagine this. The picture we're painting right now through this article, this is going to be the reality of most people very soon. Okay, because everybody, for the most part, Americans think that they could be just, the coolest fucking family in the world. I talk to my house. Well, soon your house is not going to be talking to you. It's not going to be responding when you talk. Then what? You talk to your house. Everything is all Alexa and turn on the TV or turn on the lights and do all this shit. Like, just turn the light. Just flick the light. Just flick the light so it could come on, so you could use the light. No, you just they want to be fancy. You want to talk to the fucking house. Open my refrigerator. Alexa, tell me what I have in my fridge. What do I need to go grocery shopping? Alexa, make me a list. Hey, Google, what's the temperature like tomorrow? Yeah, pick up your phone and check, nigga. Damn. But hey, soon that phone is not going to be working. So you're going to have to step outside to feel the energy to be like, oh, okay, it's cold today, or maybe not, Sometimes, typically when I look at the weather, I don't look at the actual temperature. I look at the real feel. That's what I really care about. Right? I'm not checking, it says 30 degrees, but it feels like 15. I'm not dressing like it's 30. I'm dressing like it's 15. See? So you always got to look at the real feel. How do you know about the real feel? Step outside and feel it. Then you know. Right? But let's continue. It says here, day 2, the silent freeze. The second day dawns, and the mood shifts from frustration to fear. What seemed like a temporary glitch now feels like a collapse. Commerce grinds to a halt. Supermarkets can't reorder inventory because their automated systems depend on the cloud. Distribution centers go dark, unable to process electronic manifests. Trucks line up at shipping yards, their digital schedules unreadable. Fresh produce spoils as supply chains fail. Hospitals revert to triage protocols. Without digital access to medical histories, doctors rely on memory and paper notes. Life support systems stay on, but monitoring software falters. Patients who depend on telemedicine lose access completely. Meanwhile, city infrastructure starts to strain. Water treatment plants and power grid monitors rely on internet-based control software. With systems down, manual oversight kicks in, slow, error-prone, and fragile. At the personal level, even small routines collapse. People can't refill prescriptions. Payroll fails to process, leaving workers unpaid. News websites remain silent, so rumors begin to fill the void. Claims of sabotage, cyber war, or even government collapse spread unchecked. Okay? Parents keep kids home from school because attendance and alert systems are down. The digital pause now feels like a freeze. Society isn't just offline, it's disoriented. Day 3, the breaking point. By the third day, the situation deteriorates rapidly. Panic sets in. The first day was confusion, the second day frustration. Now, it's fear. Long lines form at gas stations, but most are closed. ATMs are dead, unable to verify balances. Those with cash hoard it. Stores that remain open accept only physical money, and prices surge overnight. This is where you're going to have that. You're going to need that silver. Remember, we've been saying it that, yeah, we're going to go into a digital system where you're not going to really need to, there'll be no need for a silver or gold or none of that. But in the initial time of all hell breaking loose, no matter how long it's going to take, physical stuff is going to be money like cash, or in this case, gold and silver is going to be the way to go. Okay, it's going to be the way to go, at least for those essentials like, yo, I need this, I need that. Ain't nobody going to give you that shit for free, especially when there's a shortage of it. If anything, if you give cash, somebody might say, yo, I'll take the silver over the cash. See what I'm saying? Because I know the cash is devalued. I know it's just a piece of paper right now. And it's going to get worse once everything comes back on. So I'll take the silver instead. You see, it gives me a sense of more value than just the cash. So having some silver on hand is going to come in handy. All right. When this shit officially finally goes down. Okay. So supermarket shelves empty by noon. Families begin rationing food. Without GPS, delivery trucks get lost. Farmers can't coordinate shipments. Many companies reliant on just-in-time supply chains like grocery distribution and fuel logistics grind to a standstill. Police departments report higher calls for theft and looting as anxiety turns to desperation. Hospitals run out of backup oxygen and fuel supplies. Without digital inventory systems, they can't locate replacements. Ambulances can't be dispatched efficiently because GPS tracking is gone. Even emergency communication networks, many routed through cloud services, start to fail. Financially, the world plunges into chaos, crisis. The stock market remains closed. Banks suspend operations. Credit systems freeze. Governments issue calming statements, but few can hear them since media outlets are down or struggling to publish without internet infrastructure. By sunset on day 3, people sit in dark homes, cut off from information, isolated, anxious. The modern world, once defined by connection, has been reduced to silence. Yes, sir. Let's go. It says, for decades, we've been told the internet was decentralized, a free, untamed frontier. But that myth died the moment AWS went offline. The truth is simpler and far more dangerous. The web's beating heart is owned by a few corporations, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, who together hold the keys to nearly everything digital. When one falters, entire industries tremble. And when they decide to reset or improve the system, the rest of us have no say. The convenience of cloud living has created a fragile dependence, one that can be shattered by a single glitch or exploited by a single decree. This isn't just a technical problem, it's an existential one. A society built on digital trust can't function without it, and what happens when that trust is lost? This is going to bring in the digital ID. Let's read. If a multi-day outage ever struck, governments around the world would convene emergency councils before the network even came back online. The rallying cry would be security. The proposed solution, digital identification systems. A single government-approved credential to verify users and access essential services. It will begin as convenience. Quote, a safer way to log in, end quote. they'll say. But the potential for abuse is enormous. A universal digital ID would eventually gate access to everything: banking, communication, healthcare, transportation, even your own vehicles or devices. Okay? Now, this sounds like problem, reaction, solution. This sounds like cui bono, one who stands to benefit. If they own Meta, AWS, Amazon, Microsoft, all these companies have this much power over our digital world, over the digital society, over the digital life. Okay? Our digital worlds. If they have this much power, and just in one instance, all this shit goes down, they will be the ones to come up with the solution. Then you understand that they are the ones who came up with the problem itself. Because a problem like this, if it affects everyone at the same time, you're not going to have enough time to come up with a solution. But watch how fast they're going to have a solution by saying digital ID is the way to go. That's how you know this is all planned and orchestrated, because they told you it was going to happen. Okay? Klaus Schwab will be the one to tell you that again. It says, to open a social media account, prove your ID. To access your bank, verify through the state portal. To make a purchase online, authenticate first. And just like that, freedom becomes conditional, granted only when your digital identity says you are approved. Once woven into society, such systems rarely retreat. Europe's digital wallet, Canada's digital identity framework, and emerging US pilot programs are already pointing the way. A true internet collapse could push these initiatives from optional to mandatory overnight. I'll read that again. A true internet collapse could push these initiatives from optional to mandatory overnight. The irony, a system designed to protect us from digital chaos could become the most powerful control tool ever created. A gatekeeper for daily life, tracking every transaction, login, and movement. The AWS outage of October 20th, 2025, which was yesterday, was just a tremor, a glimpse of how brittle our digital foundations have become. It wasn't cyber war or sabotage. It was just a hiccup. Yet, it silenced half the modern world for hours. If this is what a few hours can do, imagine 3 days. Imagine a week. Imagine the response that would follow. When everything depends on a handful of companies and the solution becomes a single, state-managed digital identity, we stand on the edge of a future where convenience replaces freedom and security replaces choice. The next outage won't just take down apps. It could reset society itself. Hence, the Great Reset, the Great Global Reset. And the question that remains is chillingly simple. When the internet blinks again, will we still be free when the lights come back on? And the answer is no. Point blank, no. I was going to say something else, but we keep it at no. Okay? And again, this is all going to bring about the chaos, because these people cannot go a few hours. Look what happened. Now, just as the article depicted, day 1, day 2, day 3. It didn't go day 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, right? But it could. Just like the government shutdown has been going on, this outage could go on for even longer. And if it did, it'll be over. You know how many people would die? Especially in the wintertime, if this was to happen, a dark winter, like they've been saying for years. If that was to take place, do you know how bad things will be? Just this alone has given you enough of a picture of how bad things could get. Imagine if this goes on for longer. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Let's read. There's a book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and verse 12. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And darkness was a plague that the Lord hit Egypt with. And if we're in modern day Egypt, spiritual Egypt, then we know that the Lord is also going to attack this place with darkness once again. But this time it will be worse than back then. Okay? Because it's not just darkness, but it's a systemic shutdown. Everything goes black. Okay? Cities go black. States go black. Countries go black. The whole world goes black. And in the middle of the night, Esau is going to be making his move. Going back to Project Cypher. Okay? The extermination of millions of people under the cover of darkness. Verse 13, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and their fearful constellation, and with fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So right now we got people standing up and fighting against another. The swords in their hands haven't happened yet, but you best believe it will happen, and it will happen very, very soon. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, quite literally. You ain't got no GPS, you can't go. But eventually, when the chaos gets really out of hand, and they bring in that order through martial law, you're going to be stopped. Quarantines are going to be enacted, I should say. It's going to be pretty much a police state. You're going to have checkpoints everywhere you go, all right, because it's to keep you safe. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, lack of bread means famine, means scarcity of food, meaning the grocery stores are empty, meaning you go in there, but you can't buy because there's nothing to buy. Or you're going to certain places where there is stuff to buy, but you just don't have access to buy that. Okay, when you have SNAP benefits and all these things being shut off, you know what people are saying? Man, I got to feed my kids. If I got to break into your house to go feed my kids, that's what I'm going to do. And ain't a damn thing anyone could do about it, because if millions of people are doing the same exact thing, it's not millions of cops that's going to be going after everyone to persecute them for the same crimes. And that's pretty much what Trump was saying, that the Supreme Court is pretty much saying that, you got to do this whole trial stuff. So if we got 5 million people, we're going to be doing 5 million trials. There's got to be a way around that. It's got to be a way around that. Okay? So they want to do away with your Constitution. Okay? So get ready for that. All right? Get ready for that. Remember, there's going to be distress among nations. This is all part of it. Okay? It says for lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay? For great tribulation, man. So we are in those times. Okay? We are in those times, man. All right? Everything that we're seeing, we've been talking about. We've been prophesying about these things. Okay? So the fact that it's all happening, the way it's happening, it's a beautiful thing. All right? It's a beautiful thing. And so it's going to be, like I said, once the lights come back on, you're going to see the difference. Man, people going to be dead already. Right? Especially the housing, the old people's homes that depend on electricity, especially the heating and all that. Yo, they can't stand that kind of cold, man. You know? Where they going to be getting the heat from? Generators are not going to be working when the powers are shut down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we're going to use the generator, but for how long? Right? How long are you going to be having a generator? Generator got to have something to generate power from, right? So if that whole system is shut down, especially these things, everything is digital now, right? Once there's a digital 911, it's over with. It's over with. Outages everywhere. Outages being reported. Oh, this city has this, and that state has this, and the state of emergency has been declared. A national emergency has been declared. Once that happens, game over. Game over. Okay? Things would never go back to how it was. Just like CV-19. One emergency. Oh, let's just shut everything down and everybody lock down and, bend the curve. 2 weeks later, it became 2 months. And then it became whatever it became. And then now we're here. Where prior to CV, people were free, run around, do whatever you want, travel whenever you want, however you want. Now, everything is, oh, I got to watch this. Oh, I got to use my face to scan this. Oh, I got to have this digital ID. Oh, I got to have. That's how it starts. Remember, they already have a solution. All that's left is a problem. And we just read about a perfect problem that'll bring in that perfect solution. Anyway, I'm leaving it off there. Lord willing, you are edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash, the water Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, and until next time, Shalom.